Members of the Southeast Development Commission have assured the Igbos of their commitment not to disappoint, promising to deliver on their mandate by working with the state governors to boost the economy of the region. This position was established at the maiden grand reception held in honor of the members of the Southeast Development Commission in Enugu. The major stakeholders drawn from the 5 Southeast states converged to witness the first grand reception organized to brainstorm, make contributions, and chart a new course for the Southeast Development Commission. Addressing the occasion, Honorable Toby Okechukwu, the former minority leader of the House of Representatives and the current executive director of Project Southeast Development Commission and the convener of the meeting, appreciated President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for giving Igbo people a sense of inclusion in the Nigerian scheme.
Ebonyi, Oimo, the sentiments are the same. It was actually when we visited Enugu that we were inspired. We now had some level of authentication. Regarding to our strategies. And like he said just a while ago, the Southeast should be one market. And he reiterated it here. You know, the governor of Enugu is ambitious. And his capacity to carry out his vision is self-evident. It's very clear. So when he says that you're thinking of $200 billion is small, that you should be thinking about $1 trillion, it is a motivation for those in the board to work hard. So thank you, Your Excellency, for what you're doing. We know that leadership is made of standard stuff, and you've got the capacity to lead and to help us do same. The governor of Ebonyi gave us his wise counsel. He said even if it is one project that is fundamental, that we simply have to do it. And that we should also be careful and be warned regarding the nature of our people, because they will ask questions. So he said that we should err on the side of caution in terms of how we manage SEDC. When we went to Governor Soludo, he told us that it should be a Marshall Plan. That while he was not a governor, while he had not joined government, that he had envisioned that under what he called Sedc and other organs, that there should be a platform for the Southeast to organize this economy and to be able to interface with other regions. So I think the sentiment has been brought into reality by President Ahmed Tinubu by this simple assent to this act. We've been given the opportunity and the vehicle to superintend our future. When we went to Abia State, the governor simply told us that, look, we should look at integrated power, the infrastructure that can unite us, and talked about what the MD said about geometrics, that they have the capacity, installed capacity to supply power to the Southeast, that we should find a way to escalate it. And he also said that whatever we are saying, we are music to his ears, that he's on the same page with us. Then we went to the governor of Imo, and he emphasized the need for collaboration and for us to complement each other. He also said, using his words, that they may have recommended us for this position. He would not take responsibility for our failures, but he will take responsibility for our success. So it is self-evident and very clear that our governors, their stakeholding is very significant. Without them, you can't do much. So we want to thank all our governors. And for Zoe Bondo, You are a generational leader. You encompass the sentiments of our people. I remember when I was House Committee Chairman on Works, and I came to your house, you said, look, you speak very well. I watch you in Parliament when we wear a red cap. Is this Ugoke? Is it Pokagono? And that is how you encourage every young person in our state and our region. So now your convening power is clear. And that is why all our leaders here, the traditional rulers, the leaders of thought, and then our governors, I think you should go further. Apart from your promise for the industrial park, you will also help us convene Igbo business leaders to ensure that they share your sentiment, that we all partner together to encourage SEDC.
Honorable Okechukwu, while commending the members of the National Assembly and other stakeholders for their efforts in passing the bill, also charged them to put in more work for the development and sustainability of the Commission.
Now, when you have a platform to galvanize your people, it doesn't have to be dependent solely on what government does. You galvanize the ingenuity of the people, and that's why engagement with stakeholders is important. The governors, our leaders in business, and then the intellectual community. Based on that, we'll be able to articulate how we can create a roadmap for renaissance of the Southeast. So the low-hanging fruits are, first of all, developing a master plan. There are three P's that guide us. First, you plan, you prioritize, and then you perform. So you must have an organized way of doing things. So basically, the major issue now is to plan. Just once you are able to have a master plan of how your future, what you want the future to look like, you'll be able to develop strategies for it, and you'll be able to say, these are the things. So it's not something you just want to go and start doing borehole here or try doing street light here. No. There has to be a fundamental rethink. So the first phase of the problem is to deal with the problem is to develop a master plan of what you want to do. After that, everything becomes actionable. So you cannot begin to act prior to a plan. So the first thing is we've met the stakeholders. We'll continually to engage them sectorally, the governors who are the leaders. Without them, you can't do much. The president has empaneled this through this vehicle. But you must also meet those who are on ground, who will make it work. And that is why this engagement is possible. So one, this is the first low-hanging fruit, to meet your people and say, what do you really want? You understand? So if you don't know what you want, it is a kind of needs assessment of what the needs of the South is. What are people thinking? What do they think? What can we partner with private sector to do? What can we do alone? So I think that's why we are here, and that is why we've tried to capture what is critical.
The host governor, Dr. Peter Ndubisi Mba, and the executive governor of Enugu State says having a common market, improved infrastructure, power generation, and innovative technology will aid the region's advancement in achieving a $1 trillion economy by 2035.
Very glad to hear today that the board and management has already defined a vision and has even started developing strategies on how to get there. I'm glad to hear that you have set a target of 200 billion. I think that's small, in my opinion. I think we should be looking at $1 trillion. And it's possible. If you look at the population of the Southeast, and you would only compare it with the population of Netherlands and even Belgium put together, that's the population of Southeast. And go and check what the size of the economy of those countries are. And so there is no reason why we should restrict ourselves to 200 billion. We can actually aim for 1 trillion, and it's achievable. And then, of course, there are threats. There are existential threats, which we must acknowledge. And it is my hope that when you implement this, your strategy, you're going to bear in mind some of these existential threats and also take it upon yourself to see how we can address them. One of them is that our young people are increasingly taking to criminality as venture. So we must begin to think ahead. How do we arrest that? How do we stem that tide so that it doesn't get out of hand? For us in Enugu, we've seen that one way to address that is education, which is responsible for why it appears we're insane or we're obsessed with education. But we do not have an alternative. We actually do not have a choice, because we believe that our young people must be skillfully imbued with the relevant skill, because the rest of the world will not wait for them. So today we know that AI in less than 5 years from now would contribute over 20 trillion to the global economy. How are we preparing our young people to play in that space? They cannot afford to be discounted when the story of this evolution is told. So we need to invest hugely. And so maybe your platform, your commission, maybe that platform we need to be able to set a minimum cap for us to spend in education from our budget, and it should happen across our Southeast zone. And there are a couple of other things we can use the Southeast Development Commission as a platform to launch in our zone. So I'm really excited. I'm also happy the way you have gone on with your stakeholders engagement, talking to the governors, trying to get their buy-in, and talking to other critical stakeholders. That is already a good thing to do, and you're following the right path. I also have no doubt that the board and the management possess the right skills and commitment to truly launch the development renaissance we need in the Southeast. So it left for me to say to you that, look, we're here for you. We're completely aligned in terms of our vision, in terms of our plan for our people. We think that there are a lot of things that we can work on together. We've talked about making sure, because once you agree with the concept of a unified or a common market, you begin to talk about those enablers. And we're more than happy to, whether it's creating a multimodal system of transportation which allows you to do rail, whether it's monorail, whether it's light rail, or the narrow or the big gauge rail tracks. We are here and ready to work with you to accomplish all that. And then we are also, you talked about your focus on agriculture. That is great. And once we are dealing with the Southeast as a common market, we can begin to work on the locations with a comparative advantage. And we can all pool our resources to support that location to scale up. And I think that's something that we would all work with you to accomplish.
The managing director of the commission expressed hope that the feedback collected from the meeting is doable, as he solicits collaboration of Igbo people at home and in the diaspora.
First of all, thank the President once more for encouraging the National Assembly to pass this into law and assenting the law, the bill into act. But for us, to your point, what are the quick wins? I think we have quite a robust program, but we're at the stage where we're doing our consultation. I believe after about 4 to 6 weeks of consultation, and once the funding is available from the government, we can then start to implement our quick win agenda. For us, the private sector, we want to form a very strong bond with the private sector. So existing markets, existing industrial parks, existing industrial layouts within the region, we want to work with the state governments to renew the infrastructure, but do it in such a structured way where the private sector give us firm commitments on investments and job creation, and in exchange for that, we renew their infrastructure. That's one area. Second area is also looking at the tertiary institutions, areas of intervention. We're thinking around perhaps putting innovation hubs in those areas to enhance learning, enhance the student life within the campuses, and also explore the area of sports infrastructure. This, we think, is a strong unifier for those who are educated and for those who are uneducated. It gives them a level playing platform and the opportunity to sort of grow and create a means of livelihood for themselves. Not just the infrastructure, but also the entire sports economy, starting with football, how we think about it. It's a very critical plan within the Renewed Hope agenda, page 58 or so, where the president speaks about returning, going back to the era of sports infrastructure, sports excellence across our schools and also in our tertiary institutions. So it's something we're definitely going to be looking at. Then on the planning stage, I think it's important to start looking at the master plans for some of this region-wide infrastructure, things like rail, gas pipelines, a power project, doing a feasibility study that identifies the right locations to site these things, and also putting forward a master plan so that we can start having conversations with investors and potential partners around developing those projects.
Other speakers at the meeting emphasized the benefits of the Commission to the Southeastern region as they advocate for more strategic roadmap to delivering world-class projects for the people of the zone. Present at the grand reception were the Southeast members of the National Assembly, Traditional Rulers Council, members of the clergy, academia.
When you think of online TV and radio, broadcasting, media consultancy, event coverage, event management and planning, there's no better name than Ogama TV. But that's not all. We're also into photo studio and coverage, equipment rental, news blogging, fashion and pageantry. We are at number 5/21 Chime Avenue, beside Open Sheraton Restaurant, New Haven, Enugu. Follow us on our social media handles: Facebook at Ogama TV, Instagram at Ogama TV1, Twitter at Ogama TV, website www.ogamatv.com. You can also send us email at ogamatv@gmail.com. Ogama TV, your one-stop media solution.